Hello there, Sir from 17 once again, bringing you an interesting new concept for the guide that I'm about to make. So this is going to be an introduction to my Devil May Cry 3 guide. And because there is a lot of interesting techniques and jargon that I'm going to be talking about in the guide, I'm going to do a little tutorial slash, introduction to what those concepts I'm going to be throwing around are. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to go into, I think, Mission 3, because it's one of those levels I can have a nice play around. And I'm going to show you some of the things I'm going to be talking about and give you a visual idea of the strategies I'm going to be using. And I'm not going to use that guy because he's a cheater. I'm going to use that guy. But I've never done this for a guide before because there's never been a guide that's had so many intricacies aside from perhaps the Ninja Gaiden one. And a lot of that was easy to say during the videos, but these videos are so short, I'm having a really difficult time getting all the information I want to say out. So, the best way to do it is in video form. And here we are. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my style onto Swordmaster, because it's amazing. And I'm going to put the two weapons. I'll be using Beowulf and Rebellion a lot, but I occasionally use Agni and Rudra, and I occasionally use Nevin. As far as the pistols and stuff go, I'll be using Spiral and Kalina Ann, and very little else. But for the basis of this, I'm going to show you Nevin, because there's a technique called switch cancelling, which you'll have an idea of how it works, if I do it like that. But a couple of things to say before I get into the gameplay, and then my English language skills completely fuck up because I'm too busy pressing buttons and things and multitasking. Beating this game on Dante Must Die is a challenge, yes, but you do not have to be good at the game to do it. What I mean by this is, you do not have to do this game like you would a normal game where you overcome challenge. You can farm orbs on this, you can completely cheese it by buying so many items that you can spam your way through every single level with very little difficulty if you want to. It's not the way I would recommend playing, but it's a way a lot of people will do. So you can get every single achievement on this game without being good at it. And that should motivate you to get through it if you're playing purely for achievements. If you want to get good, listen to what I say, listen to some of the strategies, and just check out some YouTube videos that are infinitely better than I am at the game, and just form your own strategies. And this is a game that the more you put in, the more you get out. And it's as deep as you want it to be. You can want it to be just a filler game between the next big release, or you can still be playing this 2 years from now. It all depends on how much you enjoy what the game represents. But now that I've picked all my stuff, I'm going to go straight into it, and I'm going to show you some of the stuff I'm going to be talking about. So I'm going to back up from the slum, because this is a really good place to farm some points. And because it's on very hard, the enemies are going to be aggressive. You want to watch out for that Lust there, because he's going to start luster cutting and things. But you'll notice when the enemies aren't on screen, they don't attack. They can only attack when they're on screen. This is not the case for every enemy, so just be careful. But it is for most of them, so you can exploit this by, for instance, shooting at them. You don't have to lock on, because the lock on will move the camera, but you could just shoot at them, you can be a dick, you can do whatever you want. That's a decent example. But what I really want to show you is the iframes in the jump. Obviously that missed me, that one, so that doesn't really count. That one did hit me. All the way up to the top of the jump, so all the way up to the very top, before I start coming down, I am immortal. 1 second, people. This music is fucking rocking my ear off. Just turn it down, bitch. There we go. And you can do the same with the roll, but the roll is harder to do because you have to be moving left on the analog for the roll. Whoa, look at this guy jumping everywhere. See, there is the roll. So you can use the roll, but you want to be careful with the roll because it takes a little bit more timing, and sometimes you'll jump by accident and it'll fuck you up. But if you can see multiple enemies attacking, always do the double jump afterwards. And the Devil Trigger Explosion, something I'm going to be using a lot, the DTE, or its real name is something to do with a flux. And all it is, do you notice how the runes below my life, the ones after the additional 3, they are all, a different kind of style. They've been, designed differently. And if I hold the left bumper and you watch, see how it goes red? Then the second one goes red, then the third one goes red, and so on and so forth. And if I charge this up to max, I have not hit a single person in this area. Watch the Luster trying to attack me. And then when I release it, Everybody dies. That is how powerful that maneuver is. Oh, by the way, be careful of those guys there. I think I've turned my lock-on off somehow because I can't see the reticle and I don't know why. How the hell do I change it back? No idea. Oh, it might be in game options. That could probably be a good area. There we go. Why would anybody turn that off? It shows you the enemy's life. That's ridiculous. Don't ask me how that happened. But massively damaging. He's going to attack me. That guy there, he is a perfect example of this technique that I'm going to do. And that is literally showing you how you can use the iframes in the jump to not take damage from attacks. And his attack is a great one for it. Purely because it could do massive damage to you and it's all around you. So it just shows you how strong these techniques are when done correctly. So I've got enough Devil Trigger there. And what you want to do is, you'll notice I'm holding the Devil Trigger explosion. I'm going to go up to him, I'm going to release my finger off the left bumper, and then I'm going to jump. See that? The jump made it so I took no damage from his explosion. That is how powerful that move is. And he's trying to do the luster cut there. Did you see him skating on the floor? He's got very low life though. So I can use this guy to show you the next strategy. The switch cancelling ability. Which is literally changing between your weapons to cancel out animation frames. So the easiest one to do is with the spiral. Like this. And like I say, you can do a steady rhythm to it, but I like to mash because it's just easier. And you'll notice the spiral has significant recovery frames. You see them? It takes a while for that second shot to come. But if you combine it, you can do it much faster. And it's the same with your other weapons. And there's a technique I'm going to be using against a boss later on, which involves these two, Nevin and Beowulf, and it's all in their Swordmaster attack. So if you jump and you do that, that is the smash, and you jump and you do that. This is just B or circle. It does these moves, and you can do them in mid-air. And if you switch between them, it delays your drop, so you can keep farming these moves and doing massive damage. So see if we can. You'll have to apologise. I can't do this and talk at the same time. You'll notice I'm dropping pretty quick. But if you get good at that rhythm of switching between them per attack, you can stay in the air very long and deal massive damage to anything aerial. And it's super effective. And I'm going to come back in here and I'm going to show you some of the jump cancelling that I'm going to be talking about. Because the enemies will respawn if you've ever played the game before. It's just how it works. So let's get the Lust, because the Lust is the threat here. And all jump cancelling is, in theory, is this. You see how I'm bouncing on that dude's face? And in principle, all it is you can jump off the enemies. Oh, got slapped. That's not very good. But if you're close enough to them and you touch them, you can jump off them. And when you attack somebody, you can use the frames of you touching them in that attack to jump off them if you time it correctly. And all it is pressing jump and attack and timing a nice heavy rhythm. You cannot bash because bashing does not work. And it's literally, it's all in the timing. These enemies don't last very long because they're pretty weak on very hard. It's nothing like the other difficulty. But it's such a useful technique, and you're going to see me doing it a lot on my guide. And on Dante Must Die difficulty, it's really useful purely because of how much life each of the enemies has. The enemies have so much life, it's ridiculous. So it's the fastest way to deliver guaranteed damage. It really is. But that is effectively jump cancelling there. The easiest enemy to practice it on is the knights, you know, the chess pieces. And just practice with the different weapons. There's plenty of tutorials on YouTube, there's all sorts of different stuff, and I've only really touched the surface of the things I'll be covering in my guide, but I thought I'd do a little introduction to what you're going to be seeing, and hopefully you're going to be able to get those all-important achievements and trophies for Devil May Cry 3. You take care now.